Hey space boys and girls, it's been over a year since I posted my last YouTube video. Honestly, it hasn't felt that long to me, but so much just happened over the year, which inspired me to make these paintings and make this video on my YouTube channel to talk about growing and change. In this video, I have only painted one of the paintings that I'm supposed to be painting because I couldn't make it through the second one at all. I started it, but I just couldn't finish it and put as much detail as I wanted into it as the one that I'm focusing on. I really liked how, even though I don't know much about mushrooms and mushroom structure, I looked on Pinterest and I was like, I think this one would be really good, and I kind of added my own flair and taste to it. I haven't painted anything in a little while, so I felt like I didn't really understand how the paint was working on the canvas at all until I really just got into it and wanted to explore everything with the colors. Anyways, back to the topic of this video at hand. Today I'm here to talk about growing pains. What growing pains are to me are what you've been through or things that have shaped your life significantly. I'd have to say with my life, especially the interactions with people and just how you notice a shift in everyone's mood and behavior, it can also have an effect on you. Everybody's in a community, even if you don't really see yourself as a part of everybody else. There's still a little piece of you in every person, and it's nice that you can see just how your interactions can affect things. How you just putting on a smile or being your greatest self can affect someone to also put on a smile, and like a chain of light, everybody's smile just lights up the world. Also, there's dark times though. With growing up, especially from like any point of age that you're in, you're just growing into what you're growing into. You're growing into the best you that you are in the present. It's hard to step into that sometimes because, you know, sometimes you can have shadows of the doubt. Shadows of the doubt? You can have shadows of doubt in your mind that tell you that you can't do something, or that you shouldn't, or that too many people's eyes are on you. But you shouldn't let that dark voice get in the back of your head. I call it growing pains because, especially, I'd say me 10 years ago versus me now, which would mean me being 10 years old versus me now being 20. Two different people, of course, and thank God, because if I still acted like I did when I was 10 years old, or still thought all the same things I did when I was 10 years old, I do not think that would be in the best mindset. And people always say, or what I always hear people say is just like, oh no, I'm getting old, like I don't want to celebrate my birthday, all that. I see it as I want to celebrate each coming moment. I want to celebrate each minute that I'm living in life, just because why should I sit here and just worry about the time that's slipping through my fingers when I can worry about the moment and the kind, joyful interactions I'm having, and how good of a time that I'm having, and how much I'm able to be myself. pains, in my opinion, feels like what you have gone through to shape you best. And I know I already stated this a second earlier, but I believe that it's something that everybody has to realize that they go through. Like, just think of each phase of yourself, each phase of life where you're just feeling like, I don't know, down or sad or mopey. And like how even though sometimes, oh, it's just 1 or 2 days, now it could stumble into months and months and months. And then it's just like, oh wow, I was spending all that time being sad or laying in bed or sleeping all day and I didn't do this, this, and this. And I'm not gonna lie, I have currently been struggling with that, especially with, the feeling of being like, oh man, I really need to do something, but at the same time saying, I need to take care of myself. Self-care is very important, and I've had to learn that the hard way from pushing myself and feeling like I didn't need to care at the time. And that's all part about learning to grow too. I had to learn to grow to take care of myself, just like how my parents took care of me when I was a kid. You really start becoming more responsible of yourself in a light. And I know I'm only 20, so saying this is like, oh, well, yeah, you gotta learn those things. But it really touched near and dear to me that I had to learn how to care for myself, because living with my parents and everything for a while, then living away on my own in dorm rooms or just at houses or with friends, it made me feel like, oh, like I don't really have to take care of myself. It'll just, happen eventually. And then it really had me looking back and critiquing, like, you really need to do these things for yourself, even if it's something to just make you happy. For a minute, I was just going back and forth to work. I currently haven't been in college because I took off after my summer course, after my first full year in my summer course, so that I could just take a break, because honestly, that was kind of damaging to my mental health and I needed to chill out. And then, Corona started. So I was like, yeah, it's probably not best to do in-person school. And now I'm just vibing until fall term when I get back in. And I'm very excited to go back. I'm so glad that I'm an animation major, and I am proud to say that I am going to put my art out in the world, and I am just going to get better from here. I already see it, and I already know that this is my passion, and it's what I'm stepping into the future with. This is something that I've always wanted to put my heart into with my art, even though I know not everything is the best, not everything is perfect. I hold myself in such a way that makes me feel happy, that I can push myself to create nice things and to create a feeling of what I want in each individual art piece. Okay, this area of the painting in particular I wanted to talk about. I did not know what I was doing. And on top of that, the colors just weren't staying. I mean, I wasn't giving it time to dry or anything, but I was expecting it to be just kind of sitting there and not like a messy puddle that I kind of just ended up blending together because I didn't know what to do with. But overall, I'm very happy with how this look turned out in the end. I really like the way that I used colors, even though it felt like I was figuring them out for the first time all over again. And yeah, I'm just glad that even though this piece came out looking a little darker than I intended, because I always try to go for like the main colors kind of feel with paintings, but I really like how it has sort of a darker element with what I end up adding later in the video. I honestly don't know what motivated me to draw a mushroom for growing pains, because originally the first painting that I had drafted was that small little canvas that you saw at the very beginning with the girl having the mushrooms popping out of her head. And I really liked that one at first, but I was like, what's something that can be a good duo piece with it? So whenever I just drew a big mushroom and I didn't know how it looked in my mini sketchbook, I sort of just tweaked it a lot when I drew on the canvas with my pencils. And it made me really happy. I really wanted to capture the texture, like the gourd kind of look and feel of the mushroom at the bottom. And I really think I did that. And that's the part that makes me most happiest about this drawing. I really like that this blue came out nicely that I'm painting right now, but I kind of wish that it was a little bit lighter because I feel like it makes the underneath of the mushroom a little bit too murky. But other than that, I feel completely happy with how it looks. this was my absolute favorite part, especially being able to add the line work with such a thin brush. It felt really elegant the way I was able to kind of make everything come all together and draw attention to the mushroom without it being like my lines overspoke my colors and contrast. There's this part that I really like how I lined in the top of the mushroom and also the little flares near the top of the base that I really enjoy looking at. Okay, anyways, back to what I was talking about. I've been reading a lot lately. I've read 10 books so far, and it's not even the middle of February yet, so I feel very accomplished. I highly recommend reading The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and very soon, I don't want to mention any names, but I'm coming out with a video soon that is a review of a book that my mom's friend wrote. And I thought it was really interesting. So whenever I come out with that video, I'll be linking it down below to share with all of you in case you'd be interested in watching. I'm really just trying to get an overall feel of my channel, like by making it mine and truly genuine instead of mostly just caring about what people will watch or what people will think. Because whenever I first started on YouTube, I was really intense with myself about that, and I think that's something that made me shy away from filming as well, because I was like, oh, nobody wants to watch this, nobody wants to see this. But now I've just gotten to this point where I don't care, because now I want to put it out there for me to personally enjoy. And if somebody stumbles along this or another video along the way and enjoys it, then go ahead. I really like seeing people, especially people that I find out about or people that I really like that are in the same area as me, or just like people I've met, like I really like seeing everyone just have their sort of own style and sense to do stuff like that. Like I have a ton of friends that I met at MTSU who are in photography, or like I'd meet kids from art classes or kids from art demos, and they just be super sweet, before pre-COVID. But I enjoy those interactions. I enjoy when people just find a part of themselves that they really enjoy. I'd say art is definitely something I really enjoy. The process in making, even though sometimes it really does feel like a pain to get everything precise and nicely lined, there's something so satisfying about saying, hey, I did this, I finished this, and this is mine. Alright, now we're getting to the end of the video. I really like how even the words came out and everything. It especially made me happy seeing just the pop of the paint off of the canvas, even though I know it isn't dry yet. I was really upset because I recently was trying to open my clear coat to final coat this painting, and the top just completely fell in the grass. But here's the complete picture. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Now, stay drippy and eat your vegetables.